the embossed lettering of the wedding invitation pressed heavily in my hand. Emma and Ben, their names entwined in an elegant, swirling font that seemed to pulse with significance. For years I had painted this scene in my mind, a vivid tableau of joy where I stood beside Emma, my steadfast friend since our college days, lifting a glass in a heartfelt tribute to her newfound happiness. We had braved innumerable tempests side by side, catastrophic outings, heart-wrenching job denials, and the pervasive sense of existential despair that haunted every millennial in our circle. She had earned this flawless instant of matrimonial joy. Ben, from my observations, appeared to be a truly admirable man, reliable, compassionate, and unmistakably captivated by her. Yet, as I pored over the invitation, examining each nuance, a quiet but relentless discomfort started to take hold of me. The lack of +1 stood out as a significant oversight. For nearly 2 years I had shared my life with David, my boyfriend who was 30 years old. It transcended the realm of mere infatuation. It blossomed into a devoted, heartfelt alliance. We had woven a life together, nestled in a cozy apartment in Brooklyn, facing the highs and lows of city living, each of us championing the other's dreams and aspirations. David had crossed paths with Emma on several occasions, each encounter steeped in unspoken tension and lingering glances. From the very beginning, there was an undeniable spark between them. Their conversations flowed effortlessly, filled with playful exchanges and clever repartee. They discovered a deep connection, bonding over their mutual interests, from the latest podcasts that captivated their minds to the indie films that stirred their souls. At least, that was my belief. With a sense of trepidation, I ventured into the topic with Emma during a hurried phone call, striving to maintain an air of casual indifference. "Greetings, I am reaching out to finalize the details for the upcoming wedding. Anticipation fills the air. Just a quick inquiry, but was there a situation involving a +1? Her response floated through the air, light and carefree, yet tinged with an air of indifference, as if it had been practiced countless times before. "Oh, darling, it's merely a matter of finances." Ah, the staggering costs that accompany the celebration of love. Such a grand affair, yet it comes with a price that can leave one breathless. In the midst of difficult decisions, we found ourselves at a crossroads, ultimately choosing to restrict +1s to only those who are united in marriage. The weight of the decision hung heavily in the air, a palpable tension as we faced the reality that inviting everyone's dates was simply beyond our means. There are no hard feelings, are there? I choked back my first wave of disappointment, striving to embrace a sense of understanding. It was her wedding, a day crafted by her own desires, where every detail unfolded according to her vision. The weight of weddings hung heavily in the air, a burden I was reluctant to add to her already fraught emotions. I sought to tread lightly, avoiding any semblance of demand that might deepen her turmoil. "Absolutely not," I replied, masking my true feelings with a bright facade. "I completely understand. My heart swells with anticipation to join you in this celebration, no matter what." Yet the seed of uncertainty took root, unfurling tendrils of unease that coiled around my heart with an unyielding grip. The ceremony unfolded like a grand performance, each detail carefully orchestrated as if it had been plucked straight from the glossy pages of a bridal magazine. The venue, a sprawling vineyard cradled by the undulating hills of upstate New York, glowed under the embrace of the warm, golden light as the sun dipped below the horizon. Emma, adorned in her bespoke gown, radiated in enchanting beauty, her eyes shimmering with uncontainable joy. Ben, his heart racing and palms clammy, stood beside her, utterly captivated, his eyes locked onto her with a fervent devotion that spoke volumes. I joined in the applause and cheers, masking my true feelings, yet a heavy weight of unease coiled within me, a relentless echo of David's absence. As I endeavored to weave through the crowd during the cocktail hour, surrounded by a sea of elegantly attired guests, the tension grew palpable. It struck me at once that a number of attendees had arrived with partners, while others stood out as notably unattached. In the midst of our gathering, there was Sarah, her laughter ringing out like music as she savored her champagne, completely engrossed in conversation with a captivating stranger whose charm was undeniable. And there was Tom, Emma's famously commitment-phobic cousin, walking hand in hand with a woman clad in a stunning red dress. their smiles illuminating the air with a sense of undeniable joy. I attempted to brush it off as a mere logistical blunder, convinced it stemmed from some tangled web of behind-the-scenes chaos. It is possible that these guests had confirmed their attendance prior to the establishment of the married couples-only policy. Perhaps they were estranged kin who had, against all odds, secured a rare exception. Yet as the evening unfolded, the seemingly innocent questions emerged, each one a subtle jab that deepened my mounting unease. "Where's David tonight?" inquired Aunt Carol, her voice laced with a blend of concern and curiosity, a familiar presence in Emma's life since her earliest days. Anticipation coursed through me as I awaited his arrival. He possesses a charm that captivates, consistently displaying kindness and an engaging demeanor. "Is David not feeling well?" Mark asked, a groomsman I had known since high school, his voice tinged with a deep, palpable worry. I longed for the chance to reconnect with him. "It feels like an eternity since we last crossed paths." Every question hung in the air like a whispered judgment, a haunting reminder of David's isolation, of the silent implication that he had not been considered deserving of an invitation, of the chance to partake in this significant event. I stumbled over half-hearted justifications, weaving tales of work obligations, clashing timetables, and unforeseen crises, all in a frantic attempt to divert the gaze and redirect the dialogue into safer waters. The dinner unfolded as an elaborate spectacle, a multi-course culinary creation that dazzled the senses yet left an unsettling void in its wake. The speeches resonated deeply, weaving together poignant anecdotes and intimate jokes that starkly illuminated my profound sense of isolation. All around me, couples entwined in their own worlds, exchanging tender glances and hushed words, their bond a poignant reminder of the void I felt within. In that moment, I was a mere observer, standing on the fringes of a joyous gathering, unable to immerse myself in the revelry that surrounded me. Then arrived the moment of truth, the instant that dismantled the meticulously crafted illusion and laid bare the harsh reality hidden in the shadows. After dinner, as I poured another glass of wine at the open bar, seeking to dull the intensifying pain in my chest, I couldn't help but catch snippets of a quiet exchange between two of Emma's bridesmaids. "I can hardly fathom that she left him off the guest list," one of them murmured, her tone laced with disbelief and a touch of spite. "Can you believe it?" the other responded, her voice laced with a sharp edge of disapproval. It seems she confided in Ben, expressing her frustration over his seemingly perfect nature. He claimed that his charm overshadowed Ben, casting him in an unfavorable light. "Can you believe the audacity?" I stood still, the wineglass quivering in my grasp, the deep red liquid teetering dangerously near the edge. The words struck me like a thunderclap, leaving me breathless and reeling in their wake. Is it possible to be too charming? Did it tarnish Ben's image? Could it truly be that this was the motive behind David's intentional exclusion from the event? In the depths of my heart, I recognized that David possessed a rare and profound kindness, a compassion that resonated deeply within him. He exuded an innate warmth and charm that captivated those around him, enveloping them in a sense of comfort and worth. He possessed an uncanny ability to offer praise, his hands ever ready to assist, and his curiosity about others' stories was sincere and profound. It was unfathomable to me that Emma, whom I believed to be my closest ally, could be consumed by such trivial envy, willing to undermine my joy simply because of her own insecurities. The remainder of the evening unfolded in an otherworldly blur. It was as if all eyes were fixed upon me, a silent scrutiny weighing heavily in the air, with hushed voices weaving tales of judgment just out of earshot. Each smile carried an air of pretense, while every compliment dripped with the weight of hidden scorn. Air escaped me, thoughts eluded my grasp, and I found myself teetering on the edge of existence. The delight of the moment was utterly tainted by Emma's trivial insecurities and her overt disregard. As the final words echoed into silence and the dance floor came alive with the gentle sway of couples lost in their own worlds, I felt an overwhelming urge to escape the scene that had become too much to bear. The mere idea of compelling myself to engage in endless, hollow festivities, all while acutely aware of the real cause behind David's absence, was simply intolerable. I seized my coat from the cloakroom, hastily penned a congratulatory message to Emma, and slipped away from the venue, unnoticed, leaving behind a lingering sense of unvoiced resentment. The cool night air enveloped me, soothing my burning cheeks like a gentle embrace, a moment of relief amidst the tension of the evening. As I navigated the winding road home, a torrent of tears cascaded down my cheeks, transforming the highway lights into haunting streaks of sorrow. My heart ached with the weight of betrayal, humiliation, and an overwhelming sense of heartbreak. The following morning, I was jolted awake by a flood of furious text messages from Emma, her wounded pride spilling over in a relentless stream of blame and indignation. "How could you possibly abandon my wedding without even a farewell? You have utterly shattered the atmosphere. Every soul felt your absence keenly. You turned my day into a story centered around you. You are the epitome of selfishness." I inhaled deeply, striving to gather my thoughts to reply with calmness and control. I departed, burdened by the knowledge of the true reason behind David's exclusion, and the atmosphere felt uninviting. It became clear that your reluctance to have him present stemmed from a deep-seated jealousy, a fear that he would eclipse Ben in the spotlight. "Emma, that cuts deep, and I can't just act like everything is okay." Her reply came swiftly, laced with a fierce protectiveness, completely stripped of any hint of regret. "You are being utterly absurd. I was merely attempting to shield Ben from being eclipsed on our momentous occasion. Your actions are overshadowing the significance of my wedding day. Your reaction is quite exaggerated. Move past it. It's really not that significant." "Is it really not a big deal?" The words reverberated in my mind, igniting the smoldering fury that had been festering inside me for hours. I had offered my unwavering support, my understanding, and my willingness to adapt, stretching myself to the limits to shield her from any burden, and this was the outcome of my efforts? How could they belittle my partner, shatter my joy, and then turn around to accuse me of being the one in the wrong for feeling hurt? Since that fateful exchange, the silence between me and Emma has lingered, heavy and unresolved. The entire situation has ensnared me in a web of inner turmoil, caught in a fierce struggle between my steadfast loyalty to a longtime friend and my resolute dedication to my relationship. In the depths of my heart, I recognize that my feelings of hurt and anger were entirely warranted. Emma's choices unfolded like a tragic tale, marked by pettiness, selfishness, and a profound lack of respect. She placed her own insecurities above my emotions, and that is not the essence of true friendship. Yet, a heavy weight of remorse settles within me for departing from her wedding prematurely, for the fear of casting a shadow over her momentous occasion, for risking a bond that has endured for more than 10 years. Had I been overreacting to the situation? Was I allowing my feelings to overpower my judgment? Should I have simply endured, set aside my pride, and remained to uphold the fragile harmony? Now, our mutual friends find themselves caught in a web of allegiance, aligning themselves along familiar fault lines. There are those who believe Emma crossed a line, affirming that my decision to assert myself was justified. Some believe I reacted too strongly, suggesting I should have simply brushed it off, attributing it to the pressures of the wedding day and the infamous bridezilla persona. Even David, with his compassionate spirit, finds himself in a conflict, expressing his desire to preserve our friendship amidst this trivial matter, imploring me to reach out and mend the rift. Here I stand, ensnared in the tumult, grappling with a shattered bond, a wounded pride, and a tempest of uncertainty and turmoil. Am I the villain for departing from Emma's wedding before the festivities concluded? Was it truly justified for me to place my own emotions at the forefront, to defend the bond I cherish, to draw a line against the disrespect, even when it came from someone I've known for ages? What choices would you have made if you found yourself in my predicament? Have you ever found yourself facing a heart-wrenching act of betrayal or being cast aside by a friend? How do you steer through the tumultuous seas of camaraderie, envy, and love? When does one find the strength to forgive and continue on their journey, and when does the moment arrive to turn away and seek a new path? What are the essential truths that define your friendship? We invite you to unveil your reflections, your wisdom, and the stories that have shaped your journey in the comments below. In this moment of uncertainty, I find myself grappling with the weight of indecision, unsure of the path that lies ahead. I find myself in need of a deeper understanding, perhaps even some guidance on how to maneuver through the intricate and often uncomfortable social dynamics that define our circle of friends. And maybe, just maybe, a few suggestions for inspiring films that celebrate the strength of female friendships. Because I believe I could use a reminder that genuine, uplifting connections truly exist,